Hello there. Look at the absolute state of these two, eh? My goodness. Richard Tice. Well, he's getting more senseless and dangerous as time progresses. The pyjama-wearing deputy leader of Reform UK appeared on Talk TV to endlessly fulminate over two-tier, absolutely bloody everything. He was speaking to the equally repulsive Reform UK sycophant Jeremy Vile. You'll scarcely believe the level of hypocrisy and inconsistency of Tice in this segment. Let's take a look.
It's actually very simple, and that is that the rioting, all rioting by anybody, is totally unacceptable, is condemned, and people who break the law rioting and assault police officers, damage property, should all be dealt with appropriately in the usual way. The crucial word here, Jeremy, is equally. Equally and consistently.
Absolutely.
Now, when we had the riots in Hare Hills in Leeds, there were well over 1,000 people, possibly 2,000 people involved. And there was assaulting of police officers, there was burning of cars and buses. And with that well over 1,000 people involved, they've arrested 27. And they've charged 6.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because this is what we have got in the United Kingdom now. We've got two-tier Keir running a two-tier political system with two-tier policing. And it is completely, utterly unacceptable.
Based on what? Two-tier policing based on what?
Based on they're not applying the law evenly and consistently. So I'm very happy if thugs are arrested and charged promptly and an appropriate sentence handed out. But that should apply throughout. The Hare Hill riots were the first riots.
But I'm going to dig because I share your let's Why do you believe that Keir Starmer is, call it, why?
Because he and the left, the truth is that many of the rioters in Hare Hills were from the left or the far left. And they get treated differently from those on the right or the far right. Now, I've got no truck with anybody rioting. Far left, near right, far right. I don't care. You don't riot. It's very simple. But we live in a two-tier policing society now. It's a two-tier police state where the far left are treated with kid gloves compared to the far right.
Why? Why?
He's tripping over himself quite badly here, because for a fortnight now, the Reform UK argument has been Keir Starmer politicised the riots by describing everybody participating in them as far right. But of course, here is Richard Tice describing participators in the Hare Hills riots as left or far left. Of course, there's absolutely no way for Tice to know they are of the far left, but because he's making all of this up as he goes along here, it's the only thing he could come up with to make the two-tier nonsense sound like it makes any kind of sense. But in doing so, he has slipped up, because he's confessed that the Southport rioters, and the rioters from the other riots that followed, are of the far right. His complaint being, look at how much more favourably the far left Hare Hills rioters have been treated compared to the far right rioters of Southport and beyond. Yet he spent the past fortnight denying they were of the far right at all, and Starmer was wrong to call them far right. Let's face it, we aren't dealing with an elite political mind here in Richard Tice. I think that's fair to say.
Why?
Well, because you better ask Keir Starmer bluntly. What I know is it's completely unacceptable. Here's another thing that infuriates me. The two thugs caught on CCTV beating the living daylights out of 3 police officers.
Absolutely.
Who had to use tasers in Manchester Airport on July the 23rd. 3 weeks later, they've still not been charged.
I know.
You don't need any more clear evidence, right?
I mean, this is. I've been saying it for 2 days.
If you use CCTV to arrest and charge the thugs from these recent riots, fine. Then use the CCTV and arrest and charge the similar type of thugs who happen probably be from the left or the far left, who...
What evidence does he have the people from Manchester Airport are of the far left? Do you see this? Are you hearing this? This is a guy who was incandescent when Starmer described people attempting to set fire to a mosque and set fire to hotels housing asylum seekers as the far right. That is our evidence they were of the far right. They were attempting to harm, perhaps even kill, Muslims and asylum seekers. What evidence does Richard Tice have that the Hare Hills rioters and the people fighting with the police at Manchester Airport were of the far left? He has none whatsoever. It's just a ploy to make his two-tier rubbish sound credible. This is actually very dangerous stuff, because this is clearly the strategy going forward. They will pinpoint specific cases of lenient sentencing or a slow judicial process and claim the offender is getting preferential treatment because they are on the left of politics.
Beat the living daylights out of those police officers in Manchester Airport. Yet more proof of the two-tier policing. And here's the point. It's not the police on the front line who are responsible for this. It's the leadership of the police and the leadership that's coming down from the Home Office and the CPS. And it is completely and utterly unacceptable. What Starmer is doing, he is creating a sort of police state where people are now terrified what they put on social media. I'm starting some of my tweets, slightly ironically, just to wind a few people up. If this is true, ...
Why are you trying to wind anybody up? You're an almost 60-year-old member of parliament, and you're attempting to wind people up on X. Why?
Control yourself, Deputy Leader Reform. 5 Just Stop Oil activists, who were convicted for conspiring to block the M25. Good. Did you not see the footage? My daughter won't be able to go to her brother's wedding. Tough. Hope she rots. Anyway.
I hope she rots. In case you aren't aware of what Jeremy Vile is talking about, the mother of the 22-year-old jailed Just Stop Oil protester Cressida Gethin, well, she was speaking outside court after her sentencing and made the very simple point Cressida will no longer be able to attend her brother's wedding because she will be imprisoned. And Jeremy Vile's response to that is not only to mock the mother, but to announce that he hopes 22-year-old Cressida Gethin, a climate activist who's never hurt anybody in her life, will rot. Of course, he hasn't at any point publicly announced his desire for any of the far-right rioters to rot. I wonder why.
They've appealed against their record sentences. They're claiming that the terms breached international human rights law as they're longer than the terms being harried out to rioters, and they want the government to fund those lawyers to help them fight against the government. I mean, the taxpayer. Richard Tice, the world's gone nuts.
Actually, I was rather pleased with the sentences they got, and I tweeted out good. And I tweeted out good, and I hope they serve the full term, and I hope that acts as a proper deterrent, because that's actually what punishment through sentencing is supposed to do, is to be a deterrent. So excellent, and let's hope there's no more of these ridiculous, selfish, eco-zealot riots that and protests that. Cause such complete carnage.
Do you think we've gone soft in this country? Final question, Richard. I think we've gone soft.
Oh, I think that the country's gone soft on the left. But
no more than 20 seconds ago, you were praising and celebrating the length of sentences given to climate activists. And now you're going to argue how softly we treat the far left. Are Just Stop Oil not on the far left, Richard? You've been telling us they are for many years. Just to finish, is there a worse combination than Richard Tice and Jeremy Vile? Let me know in the comments, chuck in a like and subscribe because it helps me out, and thanks for watching as always. I very much appreciate it. Bye.